2. Is this on?
Hey, Mikey, go to the bathroom.
It's a surprise!
Hello friends, happy fall, happy Halloween season. The best time of the year is finally here, and welcome to the project of 2024 here on the channel.
Michael!
Every year I've got a list of projects lined up. There always seems to be that one, kind of stands out. You know, the one that I just can't friggin' wait to get to. That's this one right here. I've been waiting to do this video for nearly a year. I officially started project prep for it back in November, and now, 11 months later, I finally have everything I need. Today, I'm gonna build the ultimate 1978 Michael Myers life-size display. Jumping right in, the first thing we're gonna take a look at are the boots. These are genuine, heavily used, and naturally weathered Vietnam-era jungle boots with the Vibram soles. Manufactured in the 1960s, supposedly. I found these at Omaha's Army-Navy surplus, and I remember some years back when I first found out that Michael Myers wears these in H1, I was kind of dismissive at first. I was like, no he doesn't. Like, his boots are all black. And it wasn't until I saw it fall off the balcony freeze-framed that I realized I was wrong. So, these are the ones, or at least pretty darn close. I don't know if they're the exact same model number or not, but they definitely passed the eye test. And again, I love that they're naturally weathered. Don't have to do a thing. Yeah, these are grimy. Seen some hard use. That'll be especially helpful where he'll be going. Alright, moving on to a very important piece. Suspense mounts. These are the Mystic Coveralls of 1978. They are replicas of the original Sears Tradewear coveralls in the text green color by Creepy Customs. And for years, the fan base mistakenly thought the H1 coveralls were olive wood Big Macs, and this has since been proven false, as the screen-accurate coveralls were finally identified in recent years, and Creepy Customs have not only managed to create spot-on replicas, they've even recreated the elusive chameleon-like text green color that had fans scratching their heads for years as to what the hell it was, as it kind of changes tint depending on what kind of lighting it's in, making it much harder to pin down if your only reference point is the movie itself. When these were discovered, a lot of stuff that didn't seem quite right about the Big Mac coveralls was answered. And I was one of the ones who always thought something was a bit off about the Big Macs, from the herringbone pattern that never shows up on Michael in the film, to that olive wood color looking a tad too dark to me. Original Michael Myers actor Nick Castle himself was asked at a horror convention what color were the original coveralls, to which he replied,
I remembered them as kind of bluish gray.
yeah, that makes a lot more sense looking at the Tradewear set. Had these weathered up by Creepy Customs, and my only concern now is, will they fit my mannequin? I sent the guy at Creepy Customs the exact measurements from the mannequin's product page, so we'll find out shortly. And these replicas are well crafted. I've never actually had a real pair of the Sears Tradewears, but I mean, these look pretty damn convincing from what you see on the film. And the way this thing's going to be displayed here in this kind of lighting, I think they're going to look really accurate. And speaking of Nick Castle, this next piece is especially intriguing to me. Wait till you get a load of this. Mr. Nico Strezios at Nag Masks has crafted a silicone insert of Nick Castle's eyes. How freaking cool is that? And check this guy out. That is fantastic. When I was originally thinking about putting this life-size together, one of the first concerns I had was that having those generic mannequin eyes. I was like, nah, that's not going to be very evil-like. Definitely got to fix that. And before I had time to even process it, I noticed Nick had already produced this insert. Yeah, may even have real hair for the eyebrows. I wasn't even expecting that. Yeah, man, he does incredible work. And that's going to make for one hell of an eerie look behind that mask. Let's get a look at this mannequin. I ended up settling in on this one after I saw a couple pics of the different ways it can be posed, and one angle in particular just screams Michael Myers. I'll play around with it some and find the best look. That pose in particular, it definitely struck me. That's an authentic Michael Myers stance if I ever saw one. This guy stands about 6'1", and it's got that really similar rail-thin build like Nick Castle had in those days. So, should be really similar body structure. This is Michael Audrey Myers. He looks like he's been sitting in a sanitarium for a while. And the key issue here that I knew I needed to resolve was going to be these hands. You know, these are the typical generic non-posable hands that you normally find on a mannequin. And to remedy this, that brings us to this box. Here's yet another one. Jesus, man. Who the fuck works for these people? I ordered some Poseable silicone hands and had them shipped to Josh Ludman at Beyond Disgusting Studios. He dirtied them up some for me and attached this bendable aluminum craft wire. And the plan is to make a little alteration to the mannequin and attach these silicone hands using some foam. Hopefully I can handle that. But the hands themselves, again, they're fully posable. They've got a really realistic look and feel to them. And this light weathering kind of dirty application only adds to that genuine look. I wanted Mike to look like he'd gotten into some stuff, but nothing too over the top. And as always, Josh hooked it up nicely. Very well done, my friend. And what better prop to place in the hands than James Carter's replica of the original W.R. Case & Sons 10212 butcher knife. This is a lightweight prop with some permablood applied to it, and is going to really give Mr. Myers an aesthetic that suggests he's been doing some wet work around the neighborhood. Absolutely love this thing. I've used it in so many cosplay pics and videos. And also, I've got a clean option from DirtKnap Effects. This is the old 78 Lamson replica, which, kind of like the Big Mac coveralls, was for years kind of incorrectly presumed to be the same model from the original film. And this has since been proven false as well in the last 10 years or so, as that case 10212 was correctly identified as the screen-accurate knife. But they're both extremely similar, and for the eye test, I mean, they're totally interchangeable. So I'll probably alternate these from time to time, depending on whatever aesthetic I'm going for. Whether it be early film, kind of pre-Stabbage Michael, where he's just lurking about, or a little post-op after he's gotten some reps in and exposed a little juice. There's options for both flavors. And not much explanation on this is needed. This is a plain black t-shirt from Walmart, which is worn under the coveralls. I made sure to get a medium and a large to make sure the mannequin gets the right fit. Not a terribly important detail, but we wanted him to be comfy, so Mikey might get a little irritated if his shirt's too tight, and I don't need no angry shape with an axe to grind while I'm trying to get some sleep, so comfort is key. Well, only one thing left. Real quick, before we open this thing, notice the tape and the writing there. Yeah. There's a little backstory to how USPS nearly fumbled this mask and put me out of $858 freaking dollars. And I originally had it included here in this video, but the clip ran a little bit long and I felt like it kind of threw the pacing off, so I cut it and I made it its own individual upload. To see it, click the link on your screen or head to the description of this video and simply look for the link titled The Fuck USPS Story.
It's a good'un.
Could you define good'un, please?
Now, the crown jewel. the crown jewel of this entire project. And a lot of people use the phrase, the man, the myth, the legend. I've used it before about Bela Lugosi. I'll go ahead and use it on James Carter. Everything you've heard about this guy is true. This guy is a fucking legend in the Myers trade, Myers mask community, whatever you want to call it, for a reason. The crown jewel of this entire project is in this box. James has said that this is the best H1 he has ever done. This is the 24-inch NAG 75K Castle. And it's been customized to my specifications, and also some of James's preferences too, because I always trust his instincts on a couple of things technical wise when we're talking about how we're going to do the paint, how he's going to do the paint, and the finishing and the herring and all that stuff. So anyway, I've seen the pictures. Now it's time to check out the reality. I originally conceived this project back in November 2023. It's now almost July 24. And here we are. Luckily, I still had a spot with James from a few years ago that I was able to cash in. Oh, getting Christmas morning vibes. Oh, it appears to be in one piece. It doesn't look melted. That's so great. I'm going to take a look at him first before I raise him up for the camera, because I got to know. Oh, yes. Look at that. Yo. Oh, that is beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Can you see that? Is there any shine on the bag? Do I need to hold it a certain way? Everything look good? Yeah. Like I said, the man, the myth, the legend, James Carter. There's a reason why they call him the best in the business. And his work speaks for itself. And personally, he's probably the favorite person that I've ever dealt with when it comes to anything cosplay related and beyond that. Dude's always a total honest, straight up gentleman. And man, boy, he knocked it completely out of the park with this. Again, this is the NAG 75K Castle. This is the regular size 24-inch that's going to go on this life size. I originally ordered one of these in 25, the larger 25-inch scale a few years ago, the one that I actually wear, that you guys have seen pictures pop up from time to time. But this one needed to be the regular size. The mannequin is going to be modeled after Nick Castle's original proportions for the original Halloween, which he has said he weighed like 145 pounds. So I think the mannequin is pretty well on par with those measurements and proportions, so we shouldn't have any issues there. But I wanted to make sure the mask wasn't too large and that it was going to fit properly. So, with that being said, let's get a look at him. Oh boy, nervous moments. There we go, that's enough. And tell me that's not badass. You can say it. But we know the truth. Put them in the light a little bit. Yeah. That is the spitting image of the original 78 Hero, the way it looked when Nick wore it throughout most of the film. James and I discussed it quite a bit, and we both agreed that we needed the ghostly white, but we didn't want it too bright. I didn't want the, quote, fish belly white that Tommy Lee Wallace has talked about, how he originally painted the hero. I didn't want it Casper white, I guess I should say. So wanted a little dimming on the white, Needed it pale white so it would pop, but again, I just didn't want that Casper look. And the weathering and flesh tones around the neck, wanted to keep those subtle. Didn't want to make it too grimy, like overly gnarly, like some of the other masks that I've had, because the way this life size is going to be set up and the distance from which it's going to be viewed most of the time was very important to keep the mask from getting like too weathered, like too grimy. But it does have some, which is proper. And he misted the hair really dark for me. And here's the insignia from Mr. Nikos Drezios at Nag Masks. And here's JC's personal stamp. $2024. And if you look at the detail, obviously the eye cuts are everything with an H1. Really, the eye cuts are everything with any variation of the mask, but especially H1. How you kind of get that sad, droopy, like almost remorseful expression, but yet menacing at the same time. That's what completely makes the Nick Castle representation, in my opinion. James Carter is the absolute best at nailing these eye cuts. And then you see the highlights. He's got some of the dark tones around the eyes, the tip of the nose, down over the mouth. These were things that he stressed to me were very important for the life size, pretty much viewed at any distance, and I trusted his instincts on that. That was a no-brainer. And, man, this thing is just insane. Out of sight. The original 1978 Michael Myers. The best, the creepiest, hands down, the most effective in any Halloween movie there's ever been. Let's assemble this guy. Alright, well, it's been about, well, I wouldn't say 24 hours, but it's definitely been overnight. And this stuff is fully cured, and these hands are on here, and they seem to be on here pretty tight. So, don't expect any problems there. I think the experiment was a success. Once again, major shout out to Josh Ludman at Beyond Disgusting Studios. If I didn't have that guy telling me what to do in situations like these, seriously, don't know what the hell I'd do. Appreciate you, brother. Alright, moving on. I think we're just about ready to get all Frankenstein up in here.
Gentlemen, we have the technology. We can rebuild him.
Sorry about that. You're not Michael Myers yet. Right now, you're a mannequin little bitch. It's not until you become the shape that I respect you as such. One of the things that worked so well in the original film is that Nick Castle was not a very intimidating looking person. He's only like 5'10", maybe 5'11" at the most. And I think he said at the time Halloween was shot, he weighed something like 150 pounds. So, dude was a bone rack. And that's one of the things that made it work so well. It's like literally you could imagine this could be literally anybody on your street who just decided to put a mask on and do this. Just about ready to hook him up and cue this lightning. You are the spitting image of a young Nick Castle. With almost a crew cut. I don't know what you call that. Now, does this look like the kind of guy who'd wear something like that and come knocking at your door? No. So, of course, we have an issue, because there's always an issue. Turns out Chauncey here has a head. It's not quite right for this mask. It just doesn't work. I'll overlay the picture on the screen here. It distorts the mask to the point where it's just not going to give us that castle stretch look that is very important to this overall setup. So I thought about possible remedies, maybe taking a hacksaw and just taking this whole part off back here. But no, I think we're gonna have to go with a different head. And so, luckily, I got one of these guys on standby, but of course, as you notice here, it has a neck on it, whereas the stock head did not, and it kind of makes him look like E.T. So, got a line drawn around here. Gonna take a hacksaw and cut this entire part off and get it right flat with the chin here. Basically like the head came with the mannequin. You can see them here, it's very similar. If you kind of put them up level. Yeah. So if this part gets removed, it should work out kind of anatomically correct with the way the mannequin looks. And should give us the look that we're going for. Now, how are we going to attach it to the torso? That's where this thing comes in. So, by the time we cut this off, and I'm going to cut probably about 5 inches off of this thing. When the alterations are made, I should be able to just stick this thing right on here. And the head level should be identical to where the stock head was. And since this thing is loose, we have a swivel effect. We'll be able to turn his head just like the regular head. So, unforeseen crap that always happens in projects like these, but I'm not going to be deterred, folks. I've been waiting too long to build this thing. So, we are just going to call an audible and slice this fucker off here. Okay, well, this should go well. Happen to have some of these just lying around for just such an occasion. Nothing else. Nothing I could think of. Hey, man. Now that's more like bad ass. Dude, seriously, they get it. You can stop with the breathing now. But anyway, looks like you could have walked right off the screen of the original Halloween there, brother. A little bit taller than I expected. I guess the combination of those boots and the fact that his heels aren't like completely flat in them. I'm pushing about 6'3" right now, I think.
You trying to squeeze an inch in on me somewhere, huh?
Super Nick. But this was a super fun project to do, and honestly, I'm damn happy with how it turned out. Seriously. I'm not sure we could have gotten it much closer than this. And what better way to celebrate the best time of the year? For us horror fans, this is what Halloween season's all about. I've been waiting to do this for a long time, and I'm not just talking about the last 11 months of project prep. I've been wanting to build one of these things for years, but I never wanted to try it until I knew I could get my hands on the most screen-accurate pieces that were readily available. The absolute best stuff that I could use to bring 1978 to life. Segueing, huge thank you to Mr. Nikos Drezios from Nag Masks, Mr. James Carter, Mr. Josh Ludman at Beyond Disgusting Studios, and Creepy Customs. You all make it possible for us horror nerds to have nice things. We appreciate everything you do. Everyone, thanks for checking out the video today and for always supporting the channel. Very much appreciate each and every one of you. I hope everybody has a safe and happy Halloween season. Enjoy the best time of the year, folks, and we will see you next time. Want to say bye to the folks, Mike? I can't with this guy.